Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone. So I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's the best part of my day. I'm just telling you, I love talking with you. You can find us syndicated, found on Abundance Television. That's Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com and all the social media sites there as well. So again, thank you so much for watching. Continue sending emails. They make my day. Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. So we're always talking about gardening on the show. And so I'm listening. I really am. And I love gardening too. It's a whole passion for me. And one of my go-to references is from a guy named Ron Foster. And he has written this book. I have something else for you. Now, he's written several, but this one is the Bug Out Gardening Guide, the Bug Out Gardening Guide. And again, this is written to you by Ron Foster. You can find this on Amazon. You can find it all over the place. But anyway, check out Amazon. You'll be able to find it that way as quick. Okay, now I love vinegar. Okay, vinegar, I use it in my hair. I use like the cheapest shampoos from the Dollar Tree. I mean, I don't spend a whole lot of money on my hair at all. And a lot of people will stop me while I'm in a store or whatever and say, I love your hair. And I'm like, really, I spend nothing on it. So I use just like a $1.25 shampoo from the dollar store, from the Dollar Tree, and the conditioners. And I'm using one. I don't remember what the name brand of it. I think it's some kind of a store brand or something. But I like the smell of it. It smells like coconuts. So I've been using that lately. But prior to that, just whatever the cheapest thing is, the Dollar Tree. And my secret ingredient is just plain old cheap white vinegar. And I'll tell you what vinegar does for your hair. It takes out, because I mean, after hairspray and even using, conditioners and stuff like that, it can build a residue up in your hair and your hair won't move and it's just not shiny. And so my hair, this has been about 4 days since I've washed my hair, and it's all because I use vinegar. I mean, that's all there is to it. So here's the process. So you're going to wash your hair with your shampoo. And then what you want to do is use your conditioner. And then I'll go on ahead, because I got so much hair. And by the way, it makes your hair look really thicker too. So I use about a half a cup, maybe because of all this hair, of vinegar. And then I'll put it in my hair and I'll just let it sit for just a few seconds. It doesn't take that long. It works. It starts doing its work right then. Then I'm going ahead and rinse the vinegar out. And yes, you're going to smell like a salad for just about 30 minutes or so. And then the vinegar just goes away. And so that's my secret to hair. And it's all by using vinegar. And Ron Foster and I see eye to eye when it comes to using vinegar in the garden as well. So let's go on ahead without further ado and reinventing the wheel. We'll just go on ahead and read a few excerpts, and you got to buy this book, okay? But I'm going to read a few things about what vinegar does and how it applies to the garden and the rest of your world. Okay, keep fruit flies away. Okay, let's talk about this one. I've done this one, and with Ron's advice. Okay, so he says, protect your fruit trees by making a fruit fly deterrent, or rather attract it, that they can get stuck in. So what you can do is use 1 cup of water, 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, or vinegar you make yourself, 1/4 cup of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of molasses. Now what you want to do is mix it all up together using an empty and clean tin cans. Okay, make sure you rinse them out real good and wash them. Make a wire or a sturdy holder and hang it onto your fruit trees. What I do is just get a nail and have a can and just go on ahead and just hammer a hole in each sides of that tin can, and then get your wire to hold it up in the tree. And if you'll and I should have brought one so you could see. Let's pretend this is the tin can. This is my cut, Donna's Edge Talk Show, 20 years, by the way. So what I'll do is on each side, just get a nail and just put a nail right here. And then you'll get your wire and kind of make a loop so that it goes right here in this hole and right here in this hole. So when you put that what I just told you with the vinegar mixture, and you put that in the cup, then put that on the limb. Now make sure it's a heavy limb, okay? You don't want to get like a little weak new limb and do it. First of all, you'll damage the tree. And then you'll just put that in there. It doesn't weigh much. It's a tin can, and it's going to help keep disease away from those awesome fruit trees that you've got. Okay, help acid-loving plants. Okay, use vinegar in the water. You can increase the iron in the soil, which acid-loving plants like your blueberries and things like that. Okay, to do this for hard water areas, add 1 cup of vinegar to 1 gallon of tap water for watering your acid-loving plants. Again, your blueberries are going to love you for doing that. Every time you walk by them, they're going to reach out and kiss you. That's the way it's going to be. Keep ants away. I got to do this one. Okay, spray your ant-infested areas and ant hills with undiluted vinegar, and this will help solve that ant problem. You may need to reapply a few times for a few days to do that. Now, when you're doing something, when you're just putting the vinegar in the ground, make sure it's not on a rainy day, because I'm just going to tell you the rain's going to dilute it. So make sure it's a beautiful sunshiny day. I'm just going to tell you the hotter the weather, the better. Okay, it's going to make it work even better. Deter rabbits, raccoons, and cats. Okay, let's see how we do that. These animals hate the smell of vinegar and will keep them out of your garden naturally and safely. It's best to soak something in full-strength vinegar for an hour or so and place it around the garden, like corn cobs, cotton balls, maybe old rags you've got and stuff like that. Yeah, I can see, because if you put it straight into, I get it. So if you put it straight into the garden soil, and that it's going to wind up draining on down, but it's going to stay on a lot longer. Everybody's got old rags hanging around that you want to throw away. You can do it that way. Okay, cotton balls would be good, but I think a rag would be better. Just put it in there. Okay, rust eliminator. Okay, let's find out about this. If you have any rusty garden tools, yard tools, or yard pieces, you can remove the rust by either soaking or spraying undiluted vinegar and just rinse it and wipe it clean. And that'll work, serve the purpose there. Kill mold in containers. It is important to start with clean pots and seeding starter containers so that you can reduce the chances of mold or fungus getting into your plants. Vinegar and water together can act as a natural mold killer in the containers before replanting. Yeah, and you got to be careful about replanting anyway, because the roots are just, they're kind of fragile like, so you're going to build stronger roots at the same time. Okay, reduce brown spots in your yard. Now, this one sounds weird, but it will actually work if you have a dog. Okay, I think I see where Ron's going with this. Okay, every time you fill the dog's water bowl, add a tablespoon of vinegar to the bowl. It's harmless for the dog, but as your pet does its thing in the yards, it will cure the brown spots. Okay, now you can only train him to do it in the right places, if you know what I mean. Yeah, totally get that. Okay. Kill grass and weeds in unwanted areas. So Phil's going to be, he's out there doing that right now. Spraying or pouring straight vinegar onto your weeds or grass that has overgrown into the driveway or the cement will kill them and stop them from growing for a time. Also adding salt, that's what Phil's doing. Adding salt to the mixture may be a little more effective in this process. You may need to do this a few times, but it's safer and it's a natural alternative. Think about this. Okay, if you're using weed killer in your garden, okay, you're saying, well, that's okay. I'll use it there. It's not going to get on my gardening plant, so it's going to be okay. Yeah, it can. So let's just say that you've got your driveway and you want to get rid of those, in the cracks, you're going to have these little weeds coming up. Sometimes big weeds, but you're going to have those things coming up, and you're spraying those weeds. Okay, what if it rains and your garden's just right there, just a few feet away, and it rains and some of that stuff goes and gets into your garden? That's why it's so much better to use anything that is all natural, such as your vinegar and that kind of thing. So that's why we're saying that. Keep the garden flowers longer. Okay, so if you want to enjoy fruits of your labor indoors with your cut flowers, you can make them last a little longer by making your own feed for your flowers. I'm interested in this, okay, because I like having my own flowers, and I like to bring some in, but it's kind of a hassle, when they start getting old and they start drying and the petals start falling off. You got a mess you got to clean. So let's try this one together. And you let me know. Send me an email and let me know how this works for you. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. So what you do is just add 2 tablespoons of vinegar and 2 tablespoons of sugar and a 1 quart vase of water to your flowers. Trim the stems of the flowers and change the solution about every 5 days as needed. I can see how that works. I'm going to have to ask Ron about this. So I wonder, because I got an avocado pit, and I put it in water, and you're constantly having to change that water out every single day because you don't want to get gunky like, I'm afraid it'll ruin the root as it comes out of that avocado. And you can use that for other pit plants as well. So I'm going to try this and put maybe just a little bit of vinegar in that water. We'll see if it keeps that water a little cleaner. And I'll let you know what happens now. Then we'll talk about it later. Okay, how about a potted plant fertilizer? Fertilize your potted plants and purify the water by adding 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to 1 gallon of water before you water those potted plants. Yeah, because the big thing that happens with potted plants, and even if you have like potted plant in your garden, some people do that, and it's a good idea, especially if you have, like lettuce and stuff like that growing. It's really better to put it on top of let's say a board or something, or a table, and have it growing in potted for a number of reasons. First of all, you're going to deter the rabbits a lot better than if you plant that lettuce down on the ground. So I can see how that works. So I can see that this working even better. Okay, feed your plants. Give your plants extra nutrients from a solution of vinegar, sugar, and water. Okay, so you're adding sugar. First, mix 1 tablespoon of vinegar and 1 tablespoon of sugar for every 8 ounces of water. Then feed your plants as needed. That's a great idea. Clean your garden tools. We kind of talked about that just a minute ago, but easily clean your garden tools naturally with a bucket of vinegar and water. Just pour a few ounces of vinegar in a gallon of water and soak and rinse the tools before putting them away or storing them, especially during those winter months. You can also mix 3 ounces of vinegar in a 32-ounce bottle and spray them on clean. That's also going to naturally kill the fungus that may develop on your tools from the soil. Another thing we like to do, Phil and I, when we're pruning the trees, in like late winter is the best time I found to prune the trees. So when you're doing that, we like to clean our cutters, before we do that, because what's going to happen, let's say you cut a limb and it has a little bit of disease on it. And I'm talking about every single time we use them, we want to clean them. Okay, so let's just say the last tree I planted was last evening, and I cut that, but it had some disease on it. If I don't clean that off, it may go on to the next tree that could be a healthy tree. So that's extremely important you do that. Okay, this is a book that is written by my friend, and his name is Ron Foster. It's called The Bug Out Gardening Guide. You can find that on Amazon. Go to Amazon, get this. Of all the books you hear out there, this one is the one, my go-to resource guide right here. And to tell you, Ron knows what he's talking about. So go on ahead and get that. Let's go into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in just a few minutes.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Vinegar, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain-fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Good afternoon. We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching. Every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. That's on the Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. And go ahead and send emails, okay? This is what our shows are about. You are actually the ruler. You're my boss. You tell me what you'd like to see on the show. And a lot of you are sending so many things in about gardening. I want tips. And so as we're doing that, let's go ahead and get started with this book right here by Ron Foster. It's called The Bug Out Gardening Guide. You can find this on Amazon. I'm not going to write a book. Folks have said, Donna, why don't you write a book? Why should I write a book? Somebody's already done it. Ron Foster has done this. So these are all the tips that I like to use in my gardening. And he's talking about, in this particular segment, let's see, what chapter is this in? I meant to mention the chapter a little bit earlier. I think, and it probably doesn't really matter. You'll find it anyway. Well, this is a long chapter. Okay, but anyway, this is all about using vinegar in the garden. Okay, so the last one before we went into the commercial break, we were talking about feeding plants and gardening tools. Now let's talk about killing slugs. You know those little slimy things that get all over your plants and stuff, and they make it look ugly and they bring disease. So here it goes. Just use undiluted vinegar sprayed directly on to kill those slugs and snails that eat your lettuce and your veggies. Okay, so you've planted all these things from seeds, you've petted and you've pampered them, and they're your little babies, and you talk to them every single day, which is a wise thing to do, by the way. And then slugs get on there. Okay, use that. Use vinegar. And you just spray it, undiluted, right on those slugs, and it kills them. Okay, how about plant fungicide? Okay, similar to the dipping off tissue of your seedlings, you can take a mixture of 2 tablespoons of vinegar and brewed chamomile tea to spray on your plants outdoors to kill fungus and mold that may have grown. Okay, I wonder if that chamomile tea kind of like, puts them in a subdue attitude. Okay, how about pecking chickens? If you have backyard chickens, they can get to the point where they start pecking on each other. Yeah, they pick on each other. Women, the hens especially, you know how women are. You can help solve this problem naturally. And Ron says how. Just add a tablespoon of cider vinegar to their drinking water and they'll stop pecking at each other. It's safe and it's a natural solution. Okay, we're about to bring five more girls into our chicken pen. We're going to see if this works. Because what happens is the old biddies, they've been the queen of them all, and then you bring these other little girls in, and they're going to start pecking on them. So we're going to try that solution. Okay, how about mosquito spray? Oh boy, am I a magnet for mosquitoes and chiggers and all those things. Let's see what he says here. Okay, 2 or more full bulbs of garlic smashed flat with your coffee mug. You want to peel and put into a screw top gallon jug. Add 1/2 cup of minced garlic, fill it with water, keep it at room temperature for 2 days. Now you want to use a 2.5 gallon sprayer and 2 cups of the juice strained through a cloth, 1 cup of vegetable oil, and 2 tablespoons of liquid salt, then fill with water up to the line. You want to shake it really well. Need to do that like as you go, okay? Shake well, pump, then spray wherever you want. This will kill them dead and work at least until the rain comes. And this soap, the soap helps stick it to their wings and the other surfaces. And keep adding water and minced garlic to the jug and keep it filled and smelly. You want it to smell, okay? Because they hate the smell of garlic. Okay, now here's a second recipe. It's mosquito spray number 2. So what you want to do is use 1/2 cup of pine cleaner, 2 tablespoons of liquid soap in a quart garden water spray, and then you want to fill it with water. Got to shake it. The only thing it won't kill in 30 seconds is hard shell beetles. Okay, so it won't kill them right off the bat. It takes about 30 seconds. And we can live with that. Okay, so natural fire ant control. Yeah, we want this, please. Okay, so use ground cinnamon powder to kill fire ants. You want to sprinkle the whole mound with cinnamon. Okay, here are the ingredients. Okay, so you got 1/2 liter of alcohol. That's about 17 ounces. 100 grams of whole cloves, or about 3.5 ounces. 100 milligrams of baby oil or similar. It could be something like almond oil, maybe sesame, chamomile, lavender, fennel, about 3.4 ounces of that. Okay, leave the cloves to marinate in the alcohol for about 4 days. This is all critical timing. Okay, make sure you follow the recipe perfectly here. Stir every morning and evening, and after 4 days, add the oil. It's now ready to use. Now, again, all of these recipes, everything you find is in this book right here. Okay, it's called the Bug Out Gardening Guide by Ron Foster. Get this, you'll find all of these recipes. Okay, now let's go into less than 5 minutes. Okay, now how do you use this? Okay, you'll gently rub a few drops into the skin on the arms and the legs, observe the mosquitoes fleeing the room. This is excellent to repel fleas on pets too. You know how your pets are always scratching, especially coming the summertime, whether they're out there and they're in the the garden and dirt and whatever. So I'm going to try this on Buddy. Okay, now what about alcohol sprays? Now, the idea of using rubbing alcohol as a spray for plants has been around for years. Okay, it can cause leaf damage to African violets and apple trees, though. So here's a protection offered. Okay, alcohol sprays work on aphids, mealy bugs, scale insects, thrips, and white flies. Alcohol sprays have been used successfully on houseplants and tropical foliage plants. Now, most of these have heavy, waxy cuticles that are not easily burned. So this is how you want to do this. Use only the 70% alcohol, the rubbing alcohol. You want to mix 1 to 2 cups of alcohol per quart of water. Okay, 1 to 2 cups. You know me, I want to do 2 cups. I want to make sure this works. Using undiluted alcohol as a spray is very risky for plants. So that's why you want to kind of water it down. Because so here's the ratio again. 1 to 2 cups of alcohol per quart of water. Okay, you can also mix up the insecticidal soap spray according to the dilution on the label, but substitute alcohol for half of the water required. How do you use it? Okay, this is how you use it. Since alcohol can damage plants, always test your plant first on a few tiny leaves or plants first. Test results should show up within 1 to 2 days. Okay, tomato leaf nightshade family plants like your tomatoes, potatoes, and tobacco have toxic compounds called alkaloids in their leaves. Now, these toxins are water soluble and can be soaked from chopped leaves and made into homemade sprays. Oh, okay. Now, sprays also work by attracting natural pest enemies. Now, the good bugs follow the smell of the spray in looking for prey. So, protection offered. The tomato leaf sprays have been used to protect plants from aphids. Also, spraying tomato leaf spray on corn may reduce the corn earworm damage. Now, the corn earworm is also called the tomato fruit worm, as it also attacks the tomato plant. So a scientific study has shown that corn plants sprayed with tomato leaf spray attached to significantly wasp to the corn earworm eggs rather than the unsprayed did. Now, here's how you make it. Okay, this is the nitty-gritty of it. Okay, so soak 1 to 2 cups of chopped or mashed tomato leaves in 2 cups of water overnight. You want to strain it through the cheesecloth or some kind of a fine mesh or an old rag that's clean. Okay. All right. Now add 2 or more cups of water to the strained liquid and then spray it. Now, for aphid control, be sure to thoroughly cover the leaf undersides, especially of lower leaves and growing tips of plants where aphids congregate. Now, how do you use it? Okay, spray plants thoroughly, particularly undersides of the lower leaves and growing tips where aphids congregate. While the spray is not poisonous to humans or on contact, still use care in handling, especially if you're allergic to the nightshade family. Some people are just allergic to it. We're going to have more shows with Ron's book. Okay, of all the books he has, this is my favorite. It's the Bug Outs Gardening Guide by Ron Foster. Now, all the other books are also important. And tell Ron I sent you too, by the way, if you don't mind. Not that he's paying me anything for it, but I just want him to know where the advertising is going or where I'm sending advertising for him. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. You can find me on television, syndicated through Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget now the Newscaster Studio is where you can find the podcast. Continually watching me on Facebook and all the other social media sites that we have. We're on all of them. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel as well, and continue sending emails. They make my day. Any shows you would like to see, I'll be glad to do it for you. Any kind of research or whatever, continue sending those emails to Donna@DonnasEdge.com. That's Donna@DonnasEdge.com. Thank you so much for watching. You make my day.